Hello and welcome to Popes and Pylons, where we play some Europa Universalis IV with the new Cradle of Civilization expansion. And I've got a bit of an achievement, one of the new achievements picked out for today, and it's what I like to call a blobbing achievement. You're supposed to achieve Empire rank, become very big and conquer a specific territory. The tiny little twist in there is that we have got to conquer Hungary over here as Avaria, that's right. This place. A little one province minor. There's not only just one province, but it's also a subject of the gigantic Gazimuk next door. And we have a very, very good, well, mediocre, kind of bad, kind of sucky ruler. Idea cost minus 12%, it's kind of nice, but I guess he's going to be dead before we pick our first idea. We also have, speaking of ideas, pretty terrible ideas. Promoted cultures, max mercenaries, maneuver, prestige, legitimacy, army tradition, combatability, and tax and attrition for enemies, and some manpower. I mean, manpower is nice, I guess. But overall, our tradition's pretty bad, our leader pretty bad, and our army, 2,000 men, and we have a whopping force limit of 3,000 men, which I'm gonna go up for right away. So the plan is, as Avaria here, to form the Avar Khaganate and grab Hungary over here and becoming an empire on the way. So that's quite a bit of work ahead of us. Obviously we're not gonna just go straight for that. First thing we're gonna have to do is to break free from Gazimuk over here, and hopefully in the process of that take all their land. So we have sort of a starting base for what we're gonna do. And I'm doing that by increasing my army to the absolute maximum size, and also we're gonna need help. Because Gazimuk, as you can see, they have 6k dudes, probably a bit of the higher force limit too, and we just can't possibly just break free on our own. So we have a look at our Diplo macro builder over here. We can see that the Great Horde is very close to actually supporting our rebellion against our overlord. And as it happens, we also have a quest to improve relations with the Great Horde. So let's just grab that quest for some additional rewards. Let's go ahead and improve relations, because they're 13 opinion away, or 13 reasons away from actually supporting us. So let's go ahead and improve relations with you guys. Is there anybody else interesting? Supporting independence. Circassia, maybe. I'm not sure whether we can get this, but maybe this is something we can work towards. So let's also improve relations with them. We can't pick any rivals as a subject. We could enact a taxation policy, which is special to our ICTA government over here, which gives us these 3 buttons, and as always, having more buttons to click is good. These buttons activate a certain effect for 5 years, always doing something for you, and then something in addition, depending on having subjects. So having a lot of subjects is apparently good if you have the ICTA government. That said, national tax modifier, that's not going to do a lot for us. 15% right now, it's almost no money. Core creation cost is nice, 5% is not a lot, but at least that's some manpower, and we can grab that as soon as we actually start conquering things. And Diplo Rep, we may need that to actually grab the support for our liberty, but I hope we don't, so we can instead go for core creation cost. What else do we always have to do? We have to go for our estates. Unfortunately, since we only have one piece of land here, we cannot give our estates any land to increase their opinion of us, and their influence especially. So we're gonna have a very hard time of actually getting the estates to the 75 influence I usually like them at. So probably instead what's going to happen is that I will just do the normal and just grab the 50 power we can get out of them. And then in 15 years, 20 years when this is done, and we can actually give them land, get their power up, and grab the real amount of points that we want. So let's grab 50 points here, do the same for the Olima, grab that admin support, and for the merchants we can't even grab Diplo support because we don't have 25 influence, we can't even get them to 25 influence, so we're just going to ask for a bit of money from them. 3.41 ducats, it's not a lot, but hey, let's get that timer going. Now, I could adopt the title of Khalifa here, just gain 50 prestige. We would move 10 towards legalism, which is the new revamped Sunni religion slider over here, where legalism gives you taxes, gives you technology costs, which I love, and manpower, but mysticism gives you combat ability and missionary strength. That said, I think right now we can move those 10 towards legalism to get that additional prestige, because honestly our combat in the next few fights is not going to be us fighting really, it's us trying to run away while the Great Horde does all the work for us. I think that's going to be fine. Now, our merchants are not placed yet, so we absolutely want a merchant at home collecting from trade. Uma Thurman here. Uma Khan Truman will do that, and then since we can't transfer trade power or transfer trade in any of the provinces that would matter for us, we just send our traders to do it somewhere else, because that will still give us a 10% bonus to trade power in our home node just by doing this. Okay, now we have negative prestige because I pressed a bunch of buttons, but that should fix itself. We gain some from the Khalifa thing, we gain some from the decay, and if you have negative points, then decay is positive for you. I'm sure we don't have money for doing anything here. We could start drilling our troops. I'm not sure whether we want to start. I think we do that. In order to drill, which is also a new feature, which increases the combat power of your troops, but also increases this bar over here, the army professionalism, which also increases your overall combat power and gives you specific abilities at certain levels of professionalism. You do need a general in order to drill, and since we can't grab one from our nobility, I think I'll just turn my ruler into a general and hope we'll have a good heir before he actually dies. Again, we're not planning to do any fighting, although our ruler spawned with a lot of pips over here. That's what, 6-8 pips? That's quite a bit for the beginning of the game. Yet, we still don't want him to die, because we don't even have an heir. Let's unpause, turn up that speed to 5, and let's get that horde over here to give us their support. And we should see the negative reasons going down here as time ticks along. There, no, it's still minus 11. It's going to take a bit. But we're working on it, trying to get... so our Overlord has taken all our trade power, which is unfortunate on one hand, but it does increase our liberty desire, which may make it easier to break against them. I'm not going to take the royal marriage because I do want to fight them, and I think it's going to give me a stability hit if I take that and then fight them. We're still going to get a really big stability hit when we start the fight, because they are our overlord. But what we don't want is the stability hit for them liking us, for having good relations. So I'll just briefly bring this guy back from Circassia and tell Gazimuk to get lost here. There. Get lost, Gazimuk. And then go back to improve relations with these guys. And we're just gonna have to have some time tick along. Actually losing money now, just a tiny bit though. I think that's gonna be fine. And I still think that getting up the professionalism is better, more important than banking some more money. The drill is not really going to be very important because it's just on 3 regiments, which might just die. And again, we're not going to do a lot of fighting, hopefully. How close are we to that support? 7 reasons. Getting there, working on it. Now, I often focus on military power early on so that I can get ahead of my opponents in military tech, win those fights. But if we plan to have our other people do the fighting for us for a bit, then that seems like a bit of a waste. So I'll just leave it as is and see if we need a focus in some specific place. Let's keep going here, keep taking out those years. Support independence, -6 reasons. It's taking a long time. I don't know if we actually can just get that with pure opinion boosting. Maybe it will easily happen. Oh, now that... Oh, it's alliance. Never mind. Here we go. -6. That's an opinion thing. -6. I think if we get into 100, we might get rid of that -6 opinion. It might be enough. We might have to go over our force limit or just grab that Diplo reputation point. So we can actually get our support here. Come on. Get it done. And it's ticking, it's a ticking, -5. Yeah, the more I'm looking at this, the more I'm thinking we're gonna have to press the Diplo rep button. And if we do, I'd rather get that started right now, so the 20 years can tick away. So let's go lenient taxation, +1 Diplo rep, -15 liberty desire, which is not important at all because we don't have any subjects. And I'd like to tell these people that all of this is going to be my land. Can I do that? I cannot. Why can I not tell you? No, I can. There we go. It's Gazimok selected. Just so the Great Horde knows that that's my land when they go to war and not theirs. Now that may be hard for our alliance if I take land and the Great Horde doesn't get any, but honestly, that's just going to be something they're going to have to live with, I suppose. There's new heir and it's much, much better. He is much better than we ourselves are. So we just want to get to, well, him to become 16, and then it would be nice if our ruler just died. Especially if that happened at the point where we have -3 stability anyway because of fighting our overlord. It would be excellent. Ooh, our general even improved. That's us leading this army, improved because of the drilling. Got another siege pip. I love me a siege pip. And that is actually something that might help, even if the Great Horde is helping us. How close are we? They would do it. So let's grab that guy back and ask the Great Horde to support our independence. There we go. We gain another bonus Diplo reputation. And oh look, Gazimok, Sekasia would also support us. So let's go back here and just compensate the traders. Lose a tiny bit of money, it's gonna be fine. Support for independence. Please say yes. Thank you. Now, stop drilling, because we don't want you to die once we declare that war. What's the new quest? Placate Gazimok. No. Improve our prestige. However, we have to get to 50. Can't get to 50 from one war, so I think I'll just wait on the quest for a minute. And with our maneuver, we have a decent amount of maneuver. 2 maneuver, we should be able to run away from the Gazimokian army, who does not even have a leader yet. So we should. Our plan is to just run away, let the Great Horde do the war for us, and then grab all the land that we can. I think I'm just going to do that now. If we're running anyway, the morale does not really matter. They have an ally, Biapas, but the Great Horde should be able to handle that easily. Where's Biapas? Biapas, it's one of these small people here. This guy. Yeah. I mean, they're bigger than us, of course, but everybody's bigger than us. So let's declare that war. Call in Great Horde and Sekasia. We lose 3 stability, which sucks. And yeah, let's go. Black news indeed. Now we have an alliance with the Great Horde and with Circassia. I'm going to boost 2 of those stability right away. And the third one as soon as I get the 100 points. Improve our prestige mission, no. Still don't want that. We could invite a scholar, but I think that only gives us an additional trader. Is that what this does? Oh no, admin tech costs -5%, and it costs us 50 admin power? Does it cost us 50 admin power to do this? Yes. That doesn't seem worth it. Well, if a tech costs what? What does a tech cost? 600? Yes, base costs 600. So we lose 5% of that. That's 30 admin. So we would have to take 2 techs while this is on in order to gain a tiny bit back. I don't know how long these scholars stay, actually. Does it say if I were to invite a scholar with this button? It's also a new feature. Yeah, 20 years. So we need to take tech in 20 years to make it worth it. And I guess it's fine. So I'm gonna try to grab this land. But they gave it to us, which is great. We are not leading this siege. Oh, we are leading the siege. That's excellent. So we are gonna get the war score for leading the siege. Hopefully, and maybe the Great Horde will not be too unhappy about us not giving them land afterwards. And I tell people that they can attach here. No, not yet. Just let the Great Horde hunt that army. I think that's gonna be fine. Ooh, this is scary. They're running away, but our support is all running away too. Let's go down tick in the speed. We may have to react quickly here. Great Horde is gonna catch out Gazimuk up here. That's good. And gonna murder that. Are you gonna help me, Circassia? That would be really nice if you could, because otherwise I'm gonna die here. They're moving in. So all we have to do is survive. These guys arrive on the 25th of December. These guys on the 1st of January. So we have to survive for like 6 or 7 days fighting against gigantic odds. But we are in mountains. We are in mountains on their fort. So that's actually bad for us. Yeah, there we go. We did survive. And that hopefully helps us survive until the horde gets here. There they are. Okay, we killed slightly more than they killed, but obviously most of the dead people are ours. We got a rather bad leader trait. Recovery morale is not great, but our troops are gonna recover. It's not like we really need our troops here. So let's go and siege out Biapas and then end this war. And I assume that Circassia is gonna take care of this. Oh, Biapas is also in a different war as well. Did they give us the siege again? No. Who's sieging here? Circassia. Okay, it's gonna be fine. We just need the war score to ask for everything. Could we do that right now? Let's see. Oh, I need to demand independence, of course. And then I want the land. Nobody's gonna be unhappy about that. This is perfect. They're not gonna say yes yet, but they're very, very close. And maybe I could just ask these guys to get out of the war. No, not yet. Now they will soon. So this is going to be great. If the Great Horde is not going to be unhappy with us, then that's going to be perfect on us, because we get to keep the very, very powerful alliance up there. So for peace. Do you want to get out? You do want to get out. Do you want to pay me something like war reps? No, that's unfortunate. Tiny bit of money? Nah, money is not important here. We just get Biapas out, they just negotiate for themselves. We send this demand. And they're out of the war, and now we have 100% with Gazimuk. And we can sue for peace here, take all their land. Nobody's going to be unhappy. We take all their money too. Oh, I guess not all their money. This is a bit of a stupid interface with the tooltip hovering or hiding the checkmark, the green checkmark down there, but that should be 100 here. Yeah. So we get all their land, we get 48 ducats, and nobody is going to be unhappy. Perfect. Now, unfortunately, since we have to spend all this money on increasing stability, or this admin, I think I am going to focus on admin here, just so we can keep up with the coring and the big loss on stability. I should have thought about that earlier on. Now, you guys come home, we can't core yet. We could pick rivals, finally, and we have no power protection, so having too few rivals would not be a big issue. That said, I do want rivals. Unfortunately, everybody is gigantic right now. I'm sort of scared of rivaling Georgia, although Georgia should really not be too scary. You know, there are these guys. The one issue with rivaling Georgia is that I can't access them without getting through Shirvan over here. Why can't I rival you? I would really love to rival Shirvan. Do you have any enemies or friends, Georgia? Enemies are Shirvan and Emirati. I don't want to rival Circassia because they're my ally right now. That said, they don't really have tons of friends. Oh, these are the friends. Georgia, Theodoro, and Avaria. If they're allied to Georgia, that's going to be an issue at some point. Let's just leave the rivals for a bit and see if we can't get Shirvan as a rival once we have a few troops, so we can actually play in the same area. The Great Horde is asking us to become a tributary state. Now, this is interesting. Our alliance is apparently breaking because they want to domineer us. I think I'm going to accept the tributary thing because they're still going to protect us, and we're going to have to pay them a tiny bit. But they will protect us, and we do not have to join their wars against whatever's hopefully, assuredly going to happen up here. So it's a one-sided protection sort of deal, but we're paying for that protection. Now, how about of course? No. Why are you so expensive? Do you have... Well, it's just war exhaustion and just high development as such. Okay, I think Circassia over here has ideas that increase coring costs, which is really, really annoying. So if we can at all avoid it, I'd rather expand down here than into Circassia. Any good missions? Yes. Well, there are at least some missions. Create an army. What do we get for it? Some money. And if we save the people in Dagestan, which are in Shirvan, that's also very interesting to me. Who are you allied to? Ardabilan Mandasan, people who have never heard of. These guys and these guys. That said, they're going to be more powerful than we are. I think that's just a fact because we don't really even have an army yet. So maybe we don't take that right away because we rather build our army first. So create an army, 75% of force limit. I think that's something I'm going to do anyway. We're losing money, which is unfortunate. It's mostly because we're still reinforcing our army. That should go away in a second, I think. We can go up to speed 5 again. And see what happens. See, there we go. Now we're actually making a bunch of money, which means in turn that we can build more troops. Let's do that. And I think so much for the first session that we have here for our first episode. Let's just run this decision real quickly here. We can either give lose some tax but gain loyalty on the emirs, or gain autonomy change in all of Avaria. So in our whole country, but gain some loyalty on the merchants, which doesn't really matter. No, I'd rather take the tax loss than the autonomy loss, I think, unless... No, we do have some autonomy on the conquered territories, of course. I think we should just grab the slight loss on tax. There we go. All right, that's the first episode, very successful. We fought our overlord, we ate our overlord. We will now have to core our overlord as soon as we get the admin power, and then have to find a new area of expanding, which is hopefully going to be into Shevan down here. Unfortunately, we can't call in the Golden Horde, because the Great Horde, not the Golden Horde yet, because they're no longer our ally, but are now our overlord, and we pay tribute to them. But we may be able to call in Circassia, use their troops at some point. Unfortunately, we probably don't have a ton of favors there. No, we would have to wait for another 18 years before we can call them in. Let's see if that's something we want to do or not. Maybe we catch Shirvan in a war where the allies don't protect them, something like that. All right, thank you so much for watching this first episode, going for the Avar Khaganate, trying to go from the very little guy over here and eat all of Hungary and become an empire on the way. See you guys next time, and thank you so much for watching.